Is there a player or someone you watch even more specifically because there's things in his game maybe you would want to add to yours in the league?
Man, I think Luka. Luka's amazing and he's incredible. I think the way he can not only score the ball, but also the way he passes. And I think the thing about him is he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but he can get his defender to move where he wants him to go and he takes up that space and he does a really good job of either keeping the defender behind him or keeping him to the side. So I think that's something I can certainly learn from. I always kind of want to run away from the defense rather than absorbing the contact and taking up the space that they give me.
ESPN just got a new headache because Caitlin Clark didn't just appear on NBC. She stepped into Madison Square Garden, sat alongside NBA legends, and looked completely at home while the basketball world watched. And here's why that matters. WNBA players are facing a potential CBA fight that could shake the next season, but Caitlin just proved she can command the spotlight even amid league chaos. Stick around, because in a moment I'll show you the exact moment that revealed the real power dynamic, not a rumor, but live TV. It all started at the desk. NBC kicked off basketball night in America at MSG. Big lights, a massive arena, a huge stage. Maria Taylor introduced Caitlin like she already belonged there. Carmelo Anthony and Reggie Miller were right next to her, and yet Caitlin was the headline, not the game. You could feel it. This wasn't WNBA star tries TV. This was NBC signaling that she's the future. And Caitlin's first move? She didn't debate, she joked. She looked at the desk and admitted, essentially, "I look short next to these guys." Later, she even joked online about needing stilts next time. That one line did a lot. It made her relatable, likable, and perfect for the internet, which loves stars who can laugh while commanding the biggest room. Then Maria asked about the arena, and Caitlin didn't give a bland answer. She painted a scene, warm-ups, the buzz, the energy, the noise. She called Knicks fans crazy and said she loved it. That comment mattered because it showed what NBC wants. They want Caitlin to be seen as a basketball figure, not just a women's basketball player. Basketball, period. Next, the conversation turned to growth. Maria asked who she watches in the NBA, and Caitlin didn't hesitate. She mentioned Luka Doncic.
Is there a player or someone you watch even more specifically because there's things in his game maybe you would want to add to yours in the league?
Man, I think Luka. Luka's amazing and he's incredible. I think the way he can not only score the ball, but also the way he passes. And I think the thing about him is he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but he can get his defender to move where he wants him to go and he takes up that space and he does a really good job of either keeping the defender behind him or keeping him to the side.
It's not because Luka Doncic is flashy, but because he controls space. Caitlin breaks it down clearly. She explains that Luka isn't the fastest or the most athletic, but he moves defenders exactly where he wants, absorbs contact, and dominates space. Then Caitlin admits something most stars never say on live TV. She tends to shy away from contact, and she wants to learn how to use it. That's high basketball IQ. That's real. That's not just PR. And here's why this matters. WNBA fans already know Caitlin can shoot, but casual NBA viewers mostly know her for logo threes. This segment revealed something deeper. She understands the chess game of basketball. NBA fans who've never watched a WNBA game now have a reason to respect her. But the night wasn't all smooth sailing. Reggie Miller was asked for an NBA comparison for Caitlin, and he went with Peyton Pritchard.
I'm actually curious too. I know you guys have seen Caitlin play. She's a one of ones, but is there a comparison of someone either you played with or you guys watching the game right now that reminds you of the young lady to your right?
I like Peyton Pritchard from Boston, the way he's able to handle the basketball. He makes big shots when the shot clock's running down, a lot like this young lady right here. Isn't afraid of the big moment and is a champion like she's soon to be.
The second Reggie Miller said it, Caitlin's face went completely blank. Not angry, not rude. Just deadpan. That's what you went with. It was the most honest reaction you can give without saying a word, and that's why it went viral. Fans saw exactly what they were thinking. Right there, NBC got what every network secretly dreams of, a self-spreading clip. A moment so simple, you just post it, and it runs itself. But here's the twist. The viral reaction wasn't even the biggest part of her debut. The biggest moment came when Caitlin brought up the CBA live on NBC at MSG, sitting next to legends. She didn't dodge the topic. She didn't go the no-comment route. Instead, she framed it as one of the biggest moments in women's sports and said she was confident a deal would be reached soon. That's huge. It shows Caitlin understands what's at stake, not just for her, but for everyone in the league. And here's what the league can't ignore. When Caitlin talks about the CBA on a major NBA broadcast, it changes the pressure. The story is no longer confined to WNBA circles. It's in the mainstream. Owners feel it. Sponsors feel it. Networks feel it. Negotiations aren't just about numbers anymore. They're about reputation, optics, and momentum. NBC's move makes sense. Executive producer Sam Flood called Caitlin one of the most captivating players and dynamic scorers in basketball, and that's exactly why they centered the spotlight on her.
Caitlin Clark has landed herself a new, very high-profile position, and I've been wondering when this was going to happen. I knew at some point, somewhere, with some miscellaneous media outlet, Caitlin Clark would get a gig, and now we know where that gig's going to be, when that gig's going to be, and who that gig's going to be for.
Basketball, not women's basketball. That's a deliberate choice. It's positioning. It signals exactly how NBC plans to sell her. And that's where the tension starts for WNBA players. If Caitlin is being positioned as the basketball star, the league will lean on her harder. Marketing will lean on her. The schedule will lean on her. And suddenly, players have to ask the uncomfortable question. If the league grows because of stars, do the non-stars get paid accordingly, or are they told to wait their turn again? That's why people say the players might explode. Not because anyone hates Caitlin, but because a star-driven economy creates pressure in the locker room. It changes how people talk about value, fairness, and what a strike threat actually means. Here's the reality. Caitlin just proved she can dominate a stage outside the WNBA. That's not criticism, it's reality. And if the WNBA season gets messy, she doesn't disappear. She stays visible. That means the league's biggest star only gets bigger, while the rest of the league risks going quiet. So, this follow-up story isn't just Caitlin did TV. It's this. NBC just mainstreamed the WNBA's biggest leverage point on a major NBA night. And Caitlin didn't just survive. She controlled it. Now the question is, did NBC just give the WNBA more power heading into the CBA, or did they make Caitlin bigger than the league at the worst possible time? If you're still watching, drop stilts in the comments.
The NBA made its triumphant return to NBC this season, and who did Universal bring in to really start it off with a bang? Who did they bring in to engage all audiences? They brought in the GOAT, also known as Michael Jordan. They teased Michael Jordan appearing up and down the bill to get people tuned in, to get people watching. Now, February 1st, they're rolling something else out. Basketball night in America. Well, Michael Jordan, he already fulfilled his duties. He already took care of his commitments. He already reached all requirements on the contract. So who do they need to go get? Well, the next best thing, I suppose. Caitlin Clark.
ESPN fans, pay attention, because this move just shifted the balance of power in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark didn't just appear on NBC as a random guest or a one-off cameo. She landed a real on-air role, sitting right next to NBA legends in prime time, right when the WNBA Players Union is gearing up for a CBA fight that could impact the 2026 season.
Now, similarly, they've created some buzz with Caitlin Clark, who was announced as a special contributor for the broadcast also. She will be joining the crew there. You see Maria Taylor, Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. And CC will be making her TV analyst debut.
Caitlin Clark's NBC role isn't just a headline, it's a signal. By stepping into a primetime NBA spotlight, she's building a career that doesn't depend on the WNBA schedule. That gives her options, keeps her visible, and forces the league to confront a hard question. Is the WNBA a collective-focused league or a star-driven economy? With revenue, leverage, and attention increasingly concentrated, her move could reshape negotiations and expose how divided the money and influence really are.